Hello and welcome to this NDTV YouTube broadcast. I'm coming to you from outside Vijay Chowk. There's the Parliament right behind me. There's North Block and South Block. Now you may have seen me or other colleagues of mine reporting from Vijay Chowk. That's when Parliament is in session. That's when we usually report on the day's top stories. This is the place. But the reason why I have come out here and we're bringing this YouTube live outside of our studios and outside of our newsroom is because we are discussing an important subject, and that too about pollution in North Delhi and in north of India and also the national capital, Delhi. Now things have gotten a little better if you look around, particularly in the national capital. Certainly not as bad as it was yesterday. The Friday, Saturday and Sunday were terrible in most parts of the national capital. In the rest of North India also, the AQI, or the air quality index, was over 999. That's when the meter stops recording, so it must have been way higher than 999 as well. Things are a little better today, but I wouldn't say we are out of the woods yet, because it's hovering around the 200-250 mark. It ideally should be 50. But I would say that's wishful thinking, because in Delhi and in the north of India, it has never been 50. It has always been around 150-200 as an average. And so sad are the state of affairs that we've kind of gotten used to 150 and 200, which is thrice that of normal, thrice the required or the WHO mandated air quality index. But let's just say there is an improvement. Now, who's responsible for this improvement? Let no politician fool you that they are the reason behind this. Let no politician from the Aam Aadmi Party or the Bharatiya Janata Party come and tell you, because we did this, because we did that, suddenly the air quality has improved. I don't think anyone is getting fooled also. So I think these politicians must stop trying. This is a direct result of westerly disturbances. This is a direct result of a little bit of precipitation, slight humidity, and the wind speeds picking up. So what happens is that when the wind starts blowing upwards of 20 kilometers per hour, they tend to take away the pollutants which is otherwise stuck in the atmosphere, which is otherwise stuck. So it's like a little chamber, a gas chamber, which is created because of a weather phenomenon. So that has changed now. The wind has taken all of that away, and that is why you see, I wouldn't say clear blue skies, but you definitely see the situation being far better than the haze that was there over the weekend. I mean, things were so bad. I can tell you my story. I can give you my example. I felt itching in my eyes, runny nose, and a piercing headache. And sad as it sounds, I had to rush out quickly and buy an air purifier for myself and my children and my family. But an air purifier or a mask is a short-term solution. Also, not many people can actually afford an air purifier. They're horribly expensive. Masks are not readily available. Even masks or that specific type of mask is also very expensive. So then what do? You can't just keep buying these air filters and air purifiers and masks all the time. The solution has to be to make the air breathable. And to that extent, I feel the political class has been an absolute failure. Absolute failure. At the very beginning I said, don't be fooled when the next time they tell you that because of the odd-even scheme or because of the endless meetings that we took place and the steps that we took, pollution has come down. No, it hasn't. I feel after all these years, after 6 years of the central rule of the BJP and after almost 5 years of the Aam Aadmi Party's rule in the national capital, if even now the response is going to be that of desperation, let's quickly implement this, let's quickly do that, let's quickly do that, then I feel somewhere we have failed. 6 years and 5 years is a long time for governments to act. And as individuals, no matter how hard we try, all of us may try to bring about some sort of change in our lives. We may try to not burst crackers, use less cars, travel via public transport. But there is always a bottleneck, there is always a stop. At every stage, the cooperation or the requirement of a government exists. I mean, if everything had to be done by people, then in that case we never needed any governments in the first place. We shouldn't have governments. Do away with them. A good public transport and an investment in a good public transport is the first step. Number two, graded response has to be implemented properly and not in a knee-jerk fashion. Number three, and the most important, which is going to form the crux of all the discussions that I am having on NDTV, I feel he said versus she said, and this is the person responsible, that is responsible, is the easiest thing that a politician can do to wriggle out of a situation. Don't let them do that. The real solution is when all of them can sit down in one room in a period when there is no pollution and come up with the solution. Can they do that? Can Arvind Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, their officers, Yogi Adityanath, their officers, Captain Amrinder Singh, his officers, ML Khattar, Dushyant Chautala, their officers, can all sit in a room at a time when the crisis is not immediate but imminent? Can they sit and coordinate their response? Otherwise, the easiest thing to do for a Delhi government will be to say that crop burning or paddy burning is responsible. And they will easily look away from the very same report of Bhurelal, which talks about internally generated sources of pollution also not attacked. So it's not just stubble burning from neighboring states, it's also domestic pollution which is being created right here in the national capital, which has not been addressed. So the moment you let them fight, they will wriggle out and never ever give you the right pollution solution. So I think one of the things that I will keep doing with the help of my broadcast, and also urge all our viewers to write into respective leaders, that there is an urgent need of the hour to have a GST Council, sort of a National Pollution Council meeting. Have a meeting chaired by representatives of the centre, attended by either chief ministers or their representatives regularly, and that too at a time when there is no pollution, so that when there is an actual immediate problem, you have discussed thoroughly what your solution should be, particularly stubble burning. So if the Punjab Chief Minister feels that compensation is the way forward to reduce stubble burning in Punjab, then in that case, why does that message not reach the national capital? Is there some middle path between compensation and offering solutions, giving them those thresher machines, giving them those magic machines that have been spoken about that will do away with the stubble? It's expensive, and a poor farmer cannot invest in a machine like this. For him, the easiest option is to burn it, burn the crop. These things will only happen when they are not discussed in TV studios, but actually discussed in the corridors of power. Otherwise, the dust and haze will not just settle on the national capital, it will not just settle in the whole of North India, but also settle on the minds of the policy makers. That's a wrap in this edition of the YouTube Live on NDTV. I'll see you again tomorrow with another burning issue. Till then, goodbye.